Hey everyone, I want to take a minute and look at a couple of things on review assignment 7.2, which is all about the mystery numbers. And so it's working on our skills for adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Negative numbers is what we need to be really good at, and the mystery numbers do a nice job of dealing with the sort of add, subtract piece and multiplication. And so we want to look at some of those today. I want to start with just what I have here on the screen. A couple reminders that positive times positive is one you've been doing forever. It's positive. And then negative times negative. So we're taking a negative copy of something that's negative. So the negative of a negative is a positive. Negative times positive, positive times negative, both of those produce a negative result. So this would be the opposite, or the negative of a positive number is negative, and positive copies of a negative number are negative. So really important because we like to start with the product, so the multiplication. The addition, since the product and sum are both on the mystery number, we have positive plus positive and negative plus negative. So this always makes a positive result, and this one always produces a negative result. And so this is one of those places. So when you look at this, and then you look at this, when someone says two negatives make a positive, that is just not true. Because sometimes it's a negative. It depends on what you're doing. If you're multiplying, yes, it's positive. But if you're adding, it is negative. So to say two negatives make a positive is just oversimplifying what's actually true. So we want to be real careful with that. So when we go forward here, I'm going to look at a couple of examples. I'm just going to pick two numbers, okay? And we're going to look at what we're going to do with those two numbers. So I'm going to pick two numbers, 3 and 7. These are going to be my two numbers, okay? So what I'm going to do here with those, get this set up for us, okay? So I'm going to basically take different versions of 3 and 7. So I'm going to take 3 plus 7, and then I'm going to take 3 plus negative 7, and then negative 3 plus 7, and negative 3 plus negative 7. So I'm going to do each one of these first, and we're going to look at what we get. So 3 and 7 makes 10. 3 and negative 7 is negative 4. Negative 3 and 7 is positive 4. And negative 3 and negative 7 is negative 10. Now, if you look at that, what you'll see is some patterns, right? So when these are opposites, their results are opposites. When you swap these, it's kind of this 3 minus 7 and 7 minus 3, right? So it kind of works nicely there. Let's look at the multiplication, because this is what you do with the mystery number. You take two numbers, a first number and a second number, and you add them, and then you multiply them. So we're going to take the same combination. So we're going to take 3 times 7. We're going to take 3 times negative 7. We're going to take negative 3 times 7. And negative 3 times negative 7. We're going to look at these right here. So 3 times 7, 21. 3 times negative 7, negative 21. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. And negative 3 times negative 7, positive 21. So all of that kind of back to this, right? So we've got these pieces right here, okay? So here's what we have. So I have this where I get a positive and a positive. I have this row right here where I get a negative here and a negative here. I have this row right here where I get a positive here and a negative combination. And then the bottom row right here, I get a negative and a positive. So I have all these combinations, okay? I have all these combinations. So with 3 and 7, with 3 negative 7, negative 3 7, and negative 3 negative 7, I have these different combinations: negative negative, positive negative, negative positive, and positive positive when we put all that together. Okay, So this is an example of what a mystery number does. It takes these two values and you add and you multiply and you pick up what you're able to do is figure out where those mystery numbers are supposed to be. So let's take a look at an example here. We're going to look through this. Okay, so this is the assignment that everyone has this week, and I'm going to look kind of at this middle row. Okay, so we're going to look at this row right here and this row right here. So this, and then we'll look at these here, and then we'll look at a couple of zeros. Okay, so what we're looking for here is a product that's negative. And we want to start with the product. We always encourage starting with the product because it's limited in the number of choices. So we start with our product here, and we want the product to be negative. So when we look here, right, we get these two negative products. The only way we do that is if one of the numbers is negative, never both. So as I go through here, that's negative, positive. Well, if I have positive products, right, here and right here, well, I have two positives or two negatives. Okay, two positives or two negatives. So this could be two positives or two negatives. It might be either one. Okay, a negative product, so I know one of those is negative. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill these in. Positive, 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 negative. I know one of them is negative. Right? So it's this kind of an idea. So we're going to go through these two rows. Okay, let's look at this one. Negative product, that means one of them is negative. Positive product, one of these is they're either both positive or they're both negative. And then over here, same idea, a couple of positives here on the end. So these are the same, going to be the same sign. Okay, so now we're going to go back and look at, let's pick some numbers. Okay, we want to pick two numbers where we have this is negative and this is positive. So we want a positive sum and a negative product. So let's look at our example again. Okay, positive sum, positive product. That's not the row we want. Negative sum, don't even want it. Positive sum, negative product. There's an example of how I can do this. So -3 and +7, right? So I'm going to go 3 and 7. Okay? Nope. I want a positive that, -3 and 7. So that's -3 and +7. Just like that. Okay? So now, multiply those two, and you get -21. Add those two, and you get +4. Okay? So, let's look at this example right here. So we have positive product. So, positive product, and then my sum is negative. So that means I'm going to go positive, negative. So it's these two right here. So I need negative, negative. Both of these need to be negative. And I'm going to pick two different numbers. Negative, let's say 6, and -8. So that is, add them together, -14. Multiply them, +48. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, negative, negative. So let's look back here at our example. And we say, okay, I want a negative product. That's one of these two. And a negative sum. It's one of these two. It happens to be one like this. So this is the greater absolute value. It's further from 0. So let's try this. Let's do, well, we could do 3 and -7. But let's try something different. Let's try 4 and -7. So that's going to be -28 and -3. 4 minus 7 negative 3. So positive, positive. Let's look at our example again. Positive, positive. My two numbers, they need to both be positive. So here we go. Let's just pick two numbers. How about 9 and 5? 9 plus 5 is 14. 9 times 5, 45. So we've done 2 on that one. And let's finish these two over here. Positive, positive. There's an example right there. So they both need to be positive. So let's do 3 and 12. So that's 15, and 3 times 12 is 36. Positive, negative. Okay? Well, that's this one over here. It's just like this. So positive, negative. That means I'm going to have two negative numbers. Positive, negative. Two negative numbers. So let's pick two negative numbers. How about negative 11 and negative 2? So that's going to be negative 13 and positive 22. Okay? So there's an example for each one of these. Okay? Now, quickly on the 0, there's a 0 in the product. We know for sure that number is a 0. That's just going to be a guarantee. Anything times 0 is 0. But this number has to be positive. So 0 plus something is positive. So let's make it a 6, and that's a 6. Okay? Now, this one, for example, 0 and negative. Well, I know this is a 0, okay? And that's a negative, so maybe that's negative 8. So that's negative 8. Okay? And then the last one are these guys here where the sum is 0. And the sum is 0 means you have two opposites, two 0 pairs. So this idea of maybe 13 and negative 13. That's a 0, and when you multiply that, you get negative 169. Okay, here's another one, 0, 0. Notice they're all negative. So let's say this one was, I don't know, 14 and negative 14. 14 minus 14 is 0. That is negative 196 when you multiply. Okay? All right. Last one. 0 here. Pick a number. And its opposite. 7, negative 7. 0 when you add. Negative 49 when you multiply. Okay? All right. That is it. I know that's a little long. You don't need to watch the whole thing. I'm obviously, if you're this far, you've watched the whole thing. But I hope that helps, and watch it over and over if you need it. Good luck.